Hello and welcome to Kindle Presents the Economic Times Global Business Summit co-powered by Capgemini. Now in its 7th edition, the platform aims to connect global brands with the world's premier thought leaders and authentic influencers. And in this episode, we bring you the highlights of the event.
Dear friends, welcome to the 7th edition of the Economic Times Global Business Summit. To say we are living in turbulent times would be an understatement. Just as the latest wave of the pandemic appeared to be waning and the economy was bouncing back, the world finds itself faced with one of the deadliest conflicts since the Second World War. It has sent shockwaves through global markets, across stocks, commodities, and currencies. Under the lengthening shadow of a war, it'll be difficult to sustain growth at 8 to 8.5%, even with the government's best effort. Still, India has the resilience and the potential to be among the fastest growing major economies in the world. Going forward, India has to guard against external risks, as well as another possible COVID wave. In this context, the government's emphasis on self-reliance is most welcome and deserves our full support. It is our belief at the 184-year-old Times Group that together we can embrace every crisis as an opportunity to craft a different and better future. In a short span of 7 years, the ET Global Business Summit has emerged as South Asia's premier meeting place for global thought leaders. Keeping that as a guiding principle, we felt now would be the right time to bring together a diverse group of thought leaders on one platform to discuss and debate what experts are calling the next normal. I look forward to some great discussions with men and women who have brought about real and far-reaching change. Thank you.
The summit also saw an engaging discussion with the Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways, Nitin Gadkari. Let's listen in.
Presently, the logistic cost in our country is 16%. In China, it is 12%. And in USA, it is 12%. European countries also 12%. My idea is to, by making 26 green express highway, 24 industrial corridors, making 4-lane, 6-lane, 8-lane axis control road, 100% we are going to reduce the time. And just I'm giving you the example, Delhi to Meerut, it was previously 4.5 hours, now it comes to 40 minutes. We are making Kanpur to Lucknow, that is to be within half hour you can go from Kanpur to Lucknow. Then we are making Chennai to Bangalore in 2 hours. Lot of new road we are making, we are connecting all the ports, and I'm confident that by which we are going to reduce the logistic cost. Presently, the transporters are using diesel. So my idea, my vision is to increase the use of biofuel, use of LNG and CNG in construction equipments, at the same time in trucks. So 100% by good roads, by using new alternative fuels, we will be at 8% of logistic cost. Then it will be a big effect. Presently it is 16%, though 6 to 8% less is there. We will increase our export and we will make double the export, and we will be more competitive in the world as compared with China. Now the whole world is interested to deal with India. Our automobile industry size is 7.5 lakh crore. And my idea is within 5 years, we will make a 15 lakh crore. We will be the number one manufacturing hub of automobile in the world. All the international reputed brands are present in India. We are making vehicles on electric, flex engines. Our already two-wheeler industry, the Bajaj, TVS and Hero, they are already exporting 50% of their production. The automobile industry is the industry which is giving highest employment in the country. This is the industry which is giving highest revenue of GST giving state and central government. So I am confident that by creating 15 lakh crore of the industry, we will create more employment potential and good revenue for the government. We are facing crucial problems because of there is a war between Russia and Ukraine. And I feel that it is really a big challenge. So the only Option is import substitute, cost effective, pollution free, and indigenous. And electric is the indigenous fuel. The ethanol, methanol, biodiesel, bio CNG, bio LNG is the fuel. Even we are now moving towards green hydrogen, that is to be the futuristic technology, and where we can make India Atmanirbhar Bharat by developing this. Presently, we have the import of 8 lakh crores, and after 5 years, it can go up to 25 lakh crores. So, if we can save this 25 lakh crore, and if you can go into the Indian economy, you just understand what will be the electrifying effect of all these policies.
Welcome back. Up next, we have the Minister of Commerce and Industry, Consumer Affairs and Food and Public Distribution and Textiles to the Government of India, Piyush Goel. Let's listen in.
I'm indeed delighted to join the Economic Times Global Business Summit, albeit virtually. The theme of the summit, the great resurgence, now, next, and beyond, is truly appropriate in the post-pandemic world. Under the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, India today has emerged stronger and far more self-confident. We have strong fundamentals in the economy today, highest ever FDI, continuously breaking records year after year. Our merchandise export is set to cross $400 billion this year. We are over $375 billion already. Until recently, we never looked at our service exports giving such a major jump. But I've had to reset my target twice already on service exports. And without travel, tourism, hospitality, we are slated to touch nearly $250 billion in the current year. Moody's recently gave us a rating upgrade. Our GST collections have been robust all through the last few months, despite the third wave of the COVID pandemic. And our startup ecosystem continues to grow by leaps and bounds. Our mantra for Atmanirbhar Bharat, a self-reliant, a self-confident India, is the mantra of 135 crore Indians working together for change, for a better tomorrow for each citizen of this country. Let us all take this pledge to make India truly a global superpower. Friends, it's always been a pleasure to be a part of the ET Global Business Summit, and I'd like to wish the summit all success of deliberations and engagement with world leaders, with thought leaders from the world of politics, economics, and business. And I'm sure the deliberations will come up with significant ideas for us to implement, for us to learn from. Thank you very much, and all the best to all the participants of this Global Business Summit.
In a special conversation, we caught up with the President of Kyndryl India, Lingaraju Saukar, along with the President of Microsoft India, Anil Maheshwari. Let's take a look.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. My first question, Anant, to you is, this is the time for partnering for growth. Everywhere you hear that conversation, the biggest brands and the smallest niche-focused companies are sometimes seen joining hands to partner for growth. What kind of collaborative economy are we headed into?
Thanks for the question, Ashu, and great to be here to do this chat along with Lingu. And as you said earlier, partnerships will truly be at the heart of accelerating India's vision to be a 5 trillion economy. India is really setting the leadership benchmarks for digital on the planet. And today, we are amongst the largest digitally connected people on the planet. We have evolved to even create the largest digital identity system with Aadhaar, and we are now leading the mobile payments innovation and scale for the planet with platforms like UPI. So partnerships across the industry ecosystem will be really critical to continuing this momentum that the country has and truly enabling the decade of growth and innovation for India. We already seeing how global collaborations led by the tech sector are driving innovation from India for the world. You spoke about the strategic partnership between Kyndryl and Microsoft. It's a great example how we are working to deploy state-of-the-art solutions jointly built on the Microsoft cloud with Kyndryl that will truly accelerate the hybrid cloud adoption, modernize the applications, and truly enable modern work experiences for customers. I couldn't be more excited about this partnership. We also have an equally big opportunity to create meaningful partnerships and drive innovation from India for India. So a lot of the work that we do with Kyndryl will also show up in the country. Similarly, partnerships between enterprises, the public sector, the startups, the MSMEs in India will be really key to accelerating innovation and job creation for millions across the country. So we have, as Microsoft, entered into several strategic partnerships with government and several Indian businesses to innovate for local requirements. So we really work with a network of 14,000 partner companies in our go-to-market who are really innovating for all the 340,000 customers we serve in India. In a nutshell, partnerships are not a nice to do, but critical to drive the tech innovation that's leading the transformation around the world.
I like the word, the way you put it as critical. So Lingu, Kyndryl is already working with a large number of companies in India. So what is its approach towards partnership in India so that while it can reach out to the biggest businesses, the smaller ones, the smaller businesses can also ride with it, with the opportunities that are being created?
I think, Ashu, that's a very interesting question from where we're coming from. As you know, as Kyndryl spun off as a separate company on November the 4th, auspicious day of Diwali, and exactly at the Muhurat trading time, we launched ourselves. But I think the core part is from where we start with as being a leader in managed services space and having almost about 75 of the Fortune 100 companies across the globe, as well as a large customer base. But the opportunity to look ahead coming out from IBM into a new world is all about partnerships. Through these partnerships, our total addressable market actually doubles, which also means that to the customers that we serve today, we have a greater opportunity to take newer capabilities to them through these partnerships. So very clearly from clients in India, which we're very more focused on right now in this discussion, I think if you look at it, 2 out of 3 telecom companies, 4 out of 5 cars on the road, the banking online transactions, all of that is powered and managed by Kyndryl. Now, the power of now bringing the partnership of Microsoft and Kyndryl together to accelerate the digital transformation of these clients has huge potential opportunities. And in a way, if you look at it as Anant was pointing out about digital transformation, I think India has been a very unique market where I would say it's had the opportunity to leapfrog technologies and hence has been able to grab the newer ones much sooner. Like, we didn't have mainframes. We went straight to client server. We went from, we didn't go for custom applications. We went for packaged applications. And then came the power of mobile, which basically enabled the technology to get pushed faster and sooner out there. Now comes cloud, right? So with cloud and with the whole capabilities that are there together, the opportunity is really very huge for the industry and more so for clients where we really can help them get to the next level of digital transformation. I think it's really a great opportunity ahead for us.
Lingu, another issue about, or another question about the partnerships that are driving the innovation practice for Kyndryl in India. Can you share some details about the scale at which it's happening and the focus areas for you?
Sure. I think, Ashu, as I pointed out early, for Kyndryl, the market opportunity actually doubles because of the partnerships and the work that we do and where we go to. So when we look at partnerships, there are very key partnerships that we've got. Microsoft is one of the key partnerships in the hyperscaler world. We've got partnerships with Nokia for 5G network and edge cloud. We've got with SAP, with VMware, and a lot more to come in as we go through. That sort of basically ensures that you are meeting clients where they are and taking them the journey where they want to go through these partnerships because you're present in the environment, you understand the complexity, you understand the aspirations of the company, but more importantly, I think in terms of how we take these partnerships as well, I think we are organized around practices, and within that we take it through certain areas. For example, on the data modernization and governance, which is one of the key things that Anant also alluded to on data, right? Then the whole AI-driven innovation, which basically helps industries to get to monetizing what data they've got. Then, of course, protecting them from all the things that's happening around, which is cyber resiliency and cyber security, so that as you accelerate on these journeys forward, you've got to constantly keep protecting yourself and recovering clients across. And then, of course, managing their mission critical workloads on the cloud. So these are broadly 4 or 5 areas on how we work with clients. So we lead that with our advisory and implementation services in partnerships, and then we help manage on the hybrid environment.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thanks for taking out the time for this conversation.
Welcome back. We caught up with the president and CEO of Walmart Inc., Doug McMillen. Let's listen in.
The traditional Walmart has been a very physical company. It's best known, because the giant stores in the US suburbs. In India, of course, it's largely present through Flipkart, which is a digital operation. But how difficult was it, given the cultural roots, to make a transition to digital, and perhaps in a very compressed kind of time frame?
It's a great question, and a transition that's still underway for us, and it's an exciting one. We've made a lot of progress becoming more of a digital company and being powered by technology in different ways. Historically, there were parts of our business where we really leaned on technology and our supply chain and communication with our associates in other areas. But what's happened in recent times is that there's a holistic digital transformation of the company. That starts with our data. It relates to how we've connected up our systems with software and starting to put ML and AI to work. It has a front end that looks like e-commerce in the form of an app or a site today. In the future, increasingly AR, someday VR, voice, all these things get built on a tech stack that is more modernized than it was before a few years ago. We've made some significant investments. But what we've learned is the change actually is more difficult as it relates to people and behavior. Building the tech, making the investments, attracting the talent to build strong tech is something we've been able to do. But we actually, all of us, had to change our mindset and way of working to start to design digital products differently, to work in more of an agile fashion, to collaborate with engineering and other parts of the company, data scientists and others, in different ways than we had before. And that's been really exciting. And we still have a ways to go, but it's been fruitful so far.
Are the 30 years of globalization, global integration, relatively integrated supply chain, is that coming to an end, or at least moderating? And how does a company like yours adapt to that?
Yeah, the supply chain's definitely global. And I think it will remain that way and should remain that way to a degree. In the US, 2/3 of what we sell, we buy from the US. It's either made or grown here in the United States. That other third comes from China, India, Canada, Mexico, and then a list of other countries. In the case of how things are changing, our goal is to buy locally as much as possible. We would like to buy more goods in the United States to sell in the United States. We'd like to buy more goods in India to sell in India. And then for those items where we need a global supply chain, we'll buy goods from China, India, and other countries. In India in particular, we set a goal to purchase at least $10 billion annually out of India for export by 2027. We made that a public goal recently. And we're excited about working with businesses in India to not only sell things in India, but to export to the United States and other countries around the world. We think that would help us create value for customers, help us with our supply chain diversification, and also send another signal to the people of India that we want people in that country to prosper.
Okay, on that optimistic note, thank you so much for doing this, and look forward to meeting you physically, hopefully a year from now. Thank you so much.
Same here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Alfred Kelly Jr., Chairman and CEO, Visa Inc.
you're one of the largest card network operator in the country. What are going to be your focus in terms of investments and your strategy when it comes to a market like India?
Well, Arjit, India is one of the exciting places in the world. I've had the pleasure of being there dozens and dozens of times, and I think the world of the country. And I wish I was there with you today and hope to get there again soon. We've been in India for about 40 years. Over 40 years. We actually introduced our first card in India in 1980, which was the year I actually graduated from university. And obviously, one of the pivotal moments in payments in India happened in November of 2016 when demonetization happened. And it really opened up the eyes of the Indian people in terms of beginning to think about using other than cash. And India is still a big cash society, as you know, but boy, it has changed quite a bit in the last 5.5 years. We've seen 40% growth just in the last year, and our share in the country is about 50%. And a lot of this comes because of foundational elements of payments is the fact that it's an infrastructure, and it comes with lots of different partners. And we partner with traditional financial institutions. We partner very closely with fintechs. We partner very closely with merchants. And as a result, what we're seeing is acceptance points growing tremendously. There's now, by our estimate, 6 million acceptance points in India. It's still a fraction of what it will be over the next decade, but growing tremendously. Contactless payments are growing. They were about 16% at the end of last year, which is really terrific progress.
How do you see yours Visa strategy evolve around fintechs in India?
Well, fintechs have been a fantastic addition to the payments and money movement ecosystem for the most part. We at Visa believe we're the first real great fintech story. So we're very empathetic as it relates to fintechs. And my philosophy as a business leader is that all of them could add value and be great partners unless and until proven otherwise. And our job isn't to pick winners and losers. We want to enable all of these players. And to that end, we've been extremely active with fintechs in India. Our win rate in terms of relationships with them has been over 80% in the last year. One of the star stories is Paytm, which now has 8.5 million credit and debit credentials. It's up 6 times its growth in the last year or two. We've also worked with them on 280,000 acceptance points, which is up 50% year over year. And I think here again, the RBI has helped been a catalyst through their program, their sandbox program, which has helped bring companies like ours together with fintechs. I believe our job is not to tell the consumer what they should do. Our job is to enable as many options as we can for them, and they'll ultimately decide what works for them.
Alfred Kelly, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so very much.
Arjit, a pleasure to be with you and your audience, and thank you very much, and hope to see you in person next year.
Absolutely.